Live from Melbourne, 7 News with Mike Amor starts now.
Good evening from the Shrine for a special Anzac bulletin of 7 News. We stood apart but came together to honour our diggers. An Anzac Day like no other. The official dawn service here at the Shrine was closed to the public because of the coronavirus lockdown. But that didn't stop Victorians finding ways to honour our veterans.
The Shrine, Anzac dawn, eerily quiet. Several defied the lockdown here, some out of duty.
To connect with other people at this time is absolutely vital.
Others out of defiance.
Mummy saying, no, you can't go. It's like, yeah, well, got news for you, Mummy. I'm here.
Police questioned but did not arrest them. Throughout Melbourne, thousands of home services.
In the remembrance of the Anzacs, lest we forget.
In Montana, Vietnam veteran Rocky Gerzina was surprised by his family with a shrine of candles and poppies.
This is beautiful, unexpected and emotional. Yeah. It's not about wars, it's about peace. Hoping we don't have another one.
In Docklands, a service for high-rise residents, including 99-year-old World War II veteran Jim Brooks.
Gives you that small amount you can do to think of those that are not here.
In Windsor, 13-year-old Philip Cripsey felt his neighbours needed this.
I thought it was a really good idea bringing our communities close together during isolation.
Only dignitaries attended the Shrine's official service.
Holding together, loyalty and digging in with grit and perseverance, no matter how hard things get. Recent events have certainly shown us that these values endure.
Throughout the day, people just found ways to pay tribute. A piper led a march through a Cranbourne retirement village, a distraction for Elsie Forsyth, desperately missing husband Jim, a World War II veteran now in lockdown.
He's in the nursing home here, 5 minutes walk away, but it's hard not being able to go and see him, hold his hand.
At a Knoxfield retirement village, no one stood taller than 97-year-old New Guinea veteran Les Hall.
Oh, I'm very proud of the fact that I've got all these people around me, particularly as my uniform still fits me.
As moving as these services are, so many veterans still felt heartbroken that they missed out on what they considered to be the highlight of Anzac Day, catching up with their mates. RSLs, normally bustling with two-up games, empty. Back at Montana, Rocky Gerzina did despair.
Anzac Day represents freedom. Yeah.
But shared his infamous homemade port with a fellow Vietnam veteran.
Not a bad brew. Oh, shit.
They epitomise the Anzac spirit.
Service people have a bond, and that bond can't be broken by a virus or whatever it may be. It will be there and will be there forever.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
The Prime Minister has urged Australians to remain united during the pandemic in honour of the Anzac spirit. He's delivered a message of hope at the Australian War Memorial in Canberra, where the dawn service was more intimate than ever before.
Dawn at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and a new Anzac Day. The National Service, a solemn, powerful but contained tribute to those who made the great sacrifice. War Memorial hosting a select few, for a service meant to stir the Anzac legacy in living rooms across the country.
Fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, sisters and brothers, who gave their lives for this country and the people they loved.
The Prime Minister paying his respects, as well Governor-General David Hurley, Defence Force Chief Angus Campbell and Opposition Leader Anthony Albanese. The service, an echo from 101 years ago. Then the Spanish flu, more deadly than the Western Front, killed 50 million and kept troops returning from the Great War away from Anzac gatherings.
There were no dignitaries, no bands, just the sound of lapping water on a lonely shore. One said of that little service, it was the real thing.
In 1942, as Japan bombed Northern Australia, Anzac Day changed again.
There are no mass gatherings, there are no large concentrations of people getting together for Anzac Day.
At the memorial, returned soldiers marched, but the public stayed away, barely recognisable from the modern-day turnouts as the legend passed 100 years. Now, Anzac confronts its second pandemic. No crowds. In fact, here they concede the virus is reinventing the day. The really big crowds might never need to come back.
We may look back in 2020 and think, oh, how quaint. This is when we started to just commemorate at home. This is when our commemoration went digital.
The Governors-General of Australia and New Zealand joined for a both sides of the ditch Anzac message.
David and I acknowledge the enduring bonds forged between our two countries by the Anzacs.
We are proud of our Anzac forebears. Let us make them proud of us.
The day changed, but undimmed.
Australians all, lest we forget.
Tim Lester, 7 News.
Sacred sites around the world where thousands usually make a pilgrimage were quiet this Anzac Day. At Gallipoli, crowds were replaced with a simple service and a commitment to ensure Australian sacrifice wasn't forgotten.
A lone tribute on the Western Front, sombre, silent, for such a very different reason. Villas Bretonner, eerily empty, sacred ground where so many Australians lie, not a person in sight. The mayor here is in a coma with coronavirus. But the nearby towns always remember. They just did it in different ways, like so many of us paying tribute from home. In Gallipoli, where Australians sleep, then stand shoulder to shoulder each year, just 3 masked faces. And a single wreath as the sun rose over Anzac Cove.
In 2020, with the virus going around the world, it's even more special.
No one forgot. From a Paris balcony, a bugler from the French Republican Guard plays alone. And at Menengate in Belgium, just a handful came to the memorial where hundreds usually gather every night. In the Middle East, those still serving remembered the soldiers before them at dawn, live streamed on Facebook. And beneath the sky, like nowhere else, wreaths laid on Antarctic ice. Australian teams already in extreme isolation, able to stand a little closer than most. Normally hundreds of Aussie and Kiwi expats and tourists would have gathered here at the Australian War Memorial at Hyde Park Corner in London for a dawn service, an event often attended by members of the royal family, but it hasn't happened this year. Instead, the Australian High Commissioner George Brandis and his New Zealand counterpart will host a special service online from their homes, streamed in a few hours via Facebook. It is London that many diggers came to before beginning their journeys home at the end of the First World War. It is a place where Australian sacrifice is not forgotten. Mike.
Hugh, thank you. Hugh Whitfeld. New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has emerged from lockdown to lay flowers at the end of her driveway. Traditional commemorations across the Tasman were also cancelled. Locals marked the day with a minute's silence outside their houses and turned into virtual services. The grieving family of a police recruit killed on the Eastern Freeway has pleaded with Victorians not to focus on the negativity surrounding his death. Cameron Bowe is outside the home of the Porsche driver involved in the tragedy. And Cam, that's easier said than done for many in the community.
Mike, this is where the disgust felt over that horrific crash has been vented. The roller door of the Pussy warehouse has been spray painted with the word die. It's also been smashed out of shape. Now, Richard Pusey's wife has called police to investigate this incident. She's apparently complained to them too about their response time. She's supported Richard Pusey after he allegedly videoed and taunted a dying policewoman. Now, police are still waiting to interview truck driver Mahinder Singh Bajwa. He will be interviewed over the deaths of the 4 police members. He'll also be asked about drugs found in the cabin of that truck.
And Cam, the family of one of the 4 police officers killed has shared their grief.
That's right, Mike. Andrew Presney, the father of Constable Josh Presney, has posted an emotional post online. It's incredibly moving. The family has also released some photos which give a wonderful insight into a very proud police family. Now, part of that statement says that my family is broken right now, a pain that just won't go away. I've lost my boy, my best mate. We will find a way to go on. I urge everyone to not focus on the negativity that surrounds this. Take positives out of it. Be assured that the men and women in blue will always be there for you. Thank you, Josh, for being our boy. Now, the sheer scale of this tragedy means there is still a lot more heartache to come, and that's going to be expressed from the families of these police members that were killed in that crash, Mike.
Thanks, Cam. Cam Bowe. Dozens of protesters have defied stay-at-home rules to stage Victoria's first public rally against the lockdown measures. Police made the decision not to fine the demonstrators after they gathered outside a Gippsland train station.
Lockdown frustration erupts. The first public display of anger over tough COVID-19 restrictions in Victoria.
We now gather in protest against the lockdown which has been forced upon us by our own government.
Around 70 protesters gathered at the Trafalgar train station in West Gippsland, many carrying anti-lockdown banners. It was organised by Topher Field, a man described as a libertarian.
Who would have thought that in our own free country we would have to risk fines in order to gather and honour Anzac Day?
The demonstrators were breaching stay-at-home orders, but police decided not to issue any fines for discretionary reasons. In Melbourne, a further sign the mood is changing. People didn't hesitate to leave home, with long queues forming outside Bunnings, at IKEA and at supermarkets for the 1 p.m. Anzac Day opening time.
That is a concern, and I would reiterate to people that this is not over.
And while social distancing was observed, walkers and joggers jammed the Tan. Crowds also flocking to Albert Park Lake and Beaconsfield Parade.
If you go somewhere to exercise and there's a large number of people, perhaps rethink that and do your exercise somewhere where there are less groupings of people.
The number of new COVID-19 cases in Victoria remains low, with just 3 recorded overnight. One of those, a patient here at the Albert Road Psychiatric Clinic, taking to 15 the number of cases linked to the facility. Karen O'Sullivan, 7 News.
Adelaide Airport has taken possession of Virgin Australian aircraft as collateral over outstanding bills. 7 planes are being held by the airport, who claims it's owed $10 million. It follows 4 jets being blocked off by front-end loaders in Perth yesterday. Qantas has since come to the defence of Virgin Australia, slamming the behaviour as ridiculous and extraordinary. For the first time in 26 years, there was no blockbuster Anzac game today at the MCG. Bombers legend Kevin Sheedy says the unusual day gave footy fans more time to honour the fallen, which is a good thing.
Anzac Day's silence at the MCG provided some comforting normality in a world of COVID, curves and clusters. More than 92,000 fans packed the G last year. None were there today for what should have been the jewel in the AFL's home and away crown.
Rather than sport being slightly in the picture,
to really spend a little bit more time about what these men and women have gone through in these war zones.
The annual Essendon-Collingwood blockbuster was the brainchild of former Bombers coach Kevin Sheedy. Like many Australians, he paid tribute to the diggers from his driveway.
Probably just about the most important sort of day, I think.
This Anzac Day, he's calling on all of us to do more to support our armed forces.
Yeah, and I don't think that's good enough. When they come out of the Defence Forces, they've got to get a job and they've got to be looked after.
Sheeds revealing he was heading to Darwin to help teach US forces about Aussie rules before the travel lockdown.
And that gives you an opportunity to grow a connection between the Defence Forces of Australia and the United States.
The master coach ranking the first Anzac Day clash as one of his greatest achievements.
The draw was beautiful for both clubs and the game in itself. And I think the great thing is that it's the RSL, it's the game for the RSL and the return soldiers. That's the most important thing out of this.
So who would have won today?
In my imagination, I think we get up by a kick. But I have a very different imagination.
Sheeds sure was the mastermind of footy on Anzac Day, and Jackie's here. And Jackie, family is key for many footballers at the moment.
Yes, hello Mike. We've spoken to both captains from the grand final last year. Trent Cotchin and Phil Davis tell us what the AFL must consider when they give footy's return the green light. Also, the International Cricket Council set to bend the ball tampering rules, and how one of the world's greatest coaches substituted his dog on draft night. I've got plenty more of that coming up soon, Mike.
Thanks, Jack. See you soon. Up next, the top Melbourne suburbs for livability and affordability. The new data will surprise. Also a horror smash, wreckage spread across a wide area after 3 cars collide. He made bombshell remarks about injecting disinfectant. Now Donald Trump explains why. And why there are fresh questions over the health of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
No case has ever been like this. Each family member, all prime suspects.
Did you murder your father?
Witness every bizarre development. Family of Suspects, Sunday.
Home. It's not just a place we're stuck in. It's home-cooked meals, home workouts, homeschooling, working from home, home movie nights, and movie days. It's see you when I get home. Your home means more than ever, and so does having the right home loan. To understand your options, go straight to Aussie. We'll help ensure you have the right loan for right now.
At Bunnings, we're here to help with some simple craft projects you can do while you're at home.
You'll find plenty of stuff to keep the kids entertained. You can shop online, order the essentials you need, and we'll bundle it up for you.
It's like having the warehouse at your fingertips.
Rylock Windows and Doors combine quality, style and performance. Custom made for your project with an emphasis on energy efficiency. Rylock. Speak to your architect, designer or builder about the Rylock range of products.
An important message from the Victorian Government about coronavirus. Stage 3 restrictions are now in place. That means there are only 4 reasons to be out: shopping for food and supplies that you need, exercise, medical care and caregiving, and work and education if necessary. Stay home, protect our health system, save lives. Victorian Government, managing this together.
Telstra's smart modem cleverly switches Wi-Fi frequencies when you're further away for a strong connection to maximise your range. Experience better Wi-Fi with Telstra.
See? Nailed it.
I never stepped out underneath the stars. I lied about being the outdoor type. I never rode a sleeping bag, let alone a mountain bike. I lied.
Hyundai Tucson. Made for it, even if you're not.
It's a difficult time for Aussie families right now, and this is true of our Subway family too.
We can't change what's happening, but we can bring you a little something fresh, tasty and Australian grown to take your mind off things. And when we do, you'll know that your family is helping Aussie farmers, local communities and one of the thousands of small business owners across Australia. So thank you, from our family to yours.
Mitre 10 is serious about keeping our communities safe. So whether you're staying at home or building someone else's, Mitre 10 is here to help. So stay safe and ask us about our local delivery and pickup options today. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10.
If you're a small business, you've probably got a lot more questions than answers right now, which is why there's never been a more important time to speak to a professional accountant. They're specifically trained to help with business planning and cash flow management strategies tailored to support your business through these challenging times. They can even lend a hand with applications for government support to make sure you get the help your business needs. For further support and assistance, contact a professional accountant today.
Tasty, affordable and delicious. What's for dinner in the next break with Coles?
Montmorency in Melbourne's north has been named our best value suburb, offering the perfect combination of lifestyle and affordability. A report also ranked the best areas for first home buyers, and the advice is to head out west.
Nestled in Melbourne's north, one of the state's oldest suburbs, now brimming with new opportunity.
You probably ask most of the locals, it's been Melbourne's best kept secret for a very, very long time.
Montmorency has topped the list of 100 suburbs across Victoria, where the criteria for buying a home was lifestyle under $1 million.
Under $1 million seems to be the market that we're finding that's transacting a lot at the moment. So we're getting a lot of first homeowners that are up to that level.
17 kilometres to the city, low crime rates, good at public transport, good access to shops and facilities and those sorts of things as well. And also that leafiness, which is really lovely.
After Montmorency, Burnside in Melbourne's west ranked second for livability, followed by Gowan Brae and Watsonia North, with Noble Park in the southeast rounding out the top 5.
Because it doesn't just look at price, because we recognise a house isn't just a mortgage payment, it's all the other things that you want in terms of amenity and so on as well.
For first home buyers trying to crack the market, the best opportunities are in the west, with Sydenham at number 1, just ahead of neighbouring suburbs Burnside Heights and Delahaye. In the north, Calcalo ranked 4th, followed by Dallas. Viewbank in the northeast was another standout because of its location. At a time when job losses are a worry for many, this suburb ranked the highest for employment opportunities.
The current drops that we might see due to coronavirus will eventually bounce back.
Christy Mayer, 7 News.
2 women are dead after a horror smash in Adelaide. Both victims were passengers aged in their 50s, killed when 3 cars collided this afternoon. Wreckage spread across a wide area of road after the crash impact. All 3 drivers were taken to hospital with serious injuries. Police are yet to determine the cause of the crash. China has reportedly sent a team of medical experts to North Korea to check on the health of leader Kim Jong-un. There are conflicting reports about the seriousness of his condition. There are suggestions he's near death after heart surgery, but also claims he's well and walking around a resort. He hasn't been seen publicly since reports of his ill health emerged. Donald Trump says he was being sarcastic when he asked doctors whether disinfectant could be used to treat the virus. The remark caused companies like Dettol to issue urgent warnings.
Again, you can
clarifying his comments in the Oval Office.
I was asking a very sarcastic question.
Donald Trump claimed he was joking when he said this.
And I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside? I was asking a question sarcastically to reporters like you just to see what would happen.
What did happen was widespread backlash.
The president is not listening to medical experts, and I don't know which ones he is listening to, if any.
The manufacturer of Dettol even releasing a statement saying under no circumstance should its products be administered into the human body.
I think he just saw the information at the time, immediately before the press conference, and he was still digesting that information.
Coronavirus is everywhere here in New York, and so is the hunger. With millions out of work, lines at food banks like this one have never been longer. The need never greater. 13-year-old Saul Flores queuing outside his own school.
In school, they teach us about epidemics and stuff like that, and then living in one is like really terrifying.
Collecting food for his family out of work and quarantining at home.
We're like getting worried about how much, if it's going to be enough.
In Atlanta, the lines were at the Speedway. Georgia, one of 3 states cautiously joining the race to reopen. In New York, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
After a cool morning, it was a sunny Anzac Day. Melina Saris joins us. Mel, it's still nice out here. How's tomorrow looking?
Mike, we've had a lovely Anzac Day, but rain moves in later tonight, so Sunday will start wet. It was a crisp and calm start. Anyone who was up for the dawn service would have seen these beautiful skies, and it would have felt quite chilly. It was around 11 degrees at 6 o'clock this morning, and that is close to our overnight low of 10.5, which came at 3:30 this morning. Then with sunshine and northerly winds, the city made it to 21.7 this afternoon, but cloud built throughout the afternoon and we can expect that rain to arrive after midnight. A rain band will move across the state overnight, and in the city that rain is expected to continue through to tomorrow morning, easing in the afternoon. I'll have all those details later in the bulletin, Mike.
Thanks, Mel. Up next, a large amount of cash found in South Yarra. Hunt begins with the owner of a massive wad of money. Meghan Markle's fight with the British media goes to the High Court. New details. A paraglider survives a rough landing. And how generous customers surprised a cafe owner struggling through the lockdown.
Long time no see. The game has changed.
Hi guys, Dan and Steph here from My Kitchen Reels and Eat at Dan and Steph's in Harvey Bay, and we hope you're doing really well at home in ISO and finding your routine. We've spent a lot of time in the kitchen together and we love coming up with recipes. And today's recipe, thanks to Coles, is sausage stuffed capsicums.
We've got 2 different elements to this dish, one being the sauce and one being the stuffed capsicums. We've got the same veggies in both. We've got garlic, onions, carrots. We've got the tops of the capsicums and tomatoes. So just divvy up evenly.
Okay, now we've got the vegetables all chopped up. The next step is preparing the capsicums. So all you need to do is chop the tops off and take out the core and clean it on the inside.
Our next step is to make the sausage filling for the capsicums. Very easy. Got some olive oil in the pan, a couple of tablespoons. We're gonna add some dried oregano, some smoked paprika, a little hit of pepper, handful of my old mate Old Harrow Holt, the salt. Once we've mixed that through, we'll add the tomatoes. We're just gonna let that cook down and reduce, and then we're gonna cool it straight away so we can add it to our sausages and rice. All right, so we got our sausages and parsley in. We've got our 2 cups of cooked rice. We've got our saucy mixture, goes in. This is the fun part. We're now gonna stuff our capsicums. So we've got all our ingredients, we're gonna chuck them all together, give them a good mix. This is where we get the kids in the kitchen, get their hands in there, get them all nice and dirty, and let's have some fun. Just gotta spoon this mixture in, make sure they're nice and full. Time to make our sauce. Come with me. Hot pan, couple of tablespoons of olive oil, veggies in.
Next step with the sauce.
Tomatoes in. I've got 3 cups of chicken stock. And then we're gonna let that simmer for about 15 minutes. Our secret recipe, guys, honey. Good squirt, about 3 tablespoons. Now with the sour creams. I think it needs a touch of salt and a little bit of pepper.
All right guys, we've nearly finished every single step. What we need to do is get that beautiful sauce into a really big pot.
Then we can put our capsicums in. We put the lid on, in the oven, 180 degrees, 30 minutes. Time to get these capsicums out of the oven. So we want to get the mozzarella in there and get it all melted over, and then we're going to top it with some grated parmesan as well. All right, let's get the lid back on this, get it back in the oven and let it do its thing. 20 to 25 minutes, 180 degrees, dinner served. Let's see what we got.
So there we have it guys. What's for dinner in our household thanks to Coles? Sausage stuffed capsicums. I'm sure that the whole family will love it. Enjoy and look after yourselves.
huge wad of cash has been found on a South Yarra street. The money was found outside a bank on Toorak Road yesterday afternoon. A Good Samaritan handed the roll of $50 and $20 notes to PSOs at South Yarra train station. Police are trying to track down the person who dropped the cash. A cafe owner facing tough times in the lockdown has had his spirits lifted thanks to a generous donation. A pensioner couple wanted to show their support for the local business, and the gift came just at the right time.
The lockdown has been a struggle for Pierre Patol's Timbuktu Cafe until an unknown customer dropped off a very special note.
There was an envelope under the door and with a beautiful message and the cash in it.
The mystery donor gifted him $750 cash to help keep his business afloat.
You just don't understand at start. Like someone did that to us. It's just fantastic. It's beyond reason. You know, it normally happened to others.
The letter read, "The government says the $750 is for us to spend. I need nothing and have thought that I would like to donate it to your business."
It's very supportive. It's great. It's good to know that people want us to succeed and to stay here when everything will be over.
With no way of thanking the anonymous pensioners, Pierre has resorted to writing it in chalk outside the cafe doors.
Well, it helped a lot. You know, I will be able to buy some stock, you know, to pay some suppliers.
And on billboards across the city, a different way to give back. The Teddy Bear Project showcasing children's drawings, including Richmond star Trent Cotchin's two daughters.
I loved it. I thought it gave the kids a great opportunity to, one, do something when they're in isolation, but also an opportunity to say thank you to those that they think are really important.
5-year-old Harper and 3-year-old Kenzie thanking healthcare workers.
You know, that was really special. And as a parent, you know, you love seeing your kids doing things that they love.
Georgia Commons Solly, 7 News.
Around 170 Australians and New Zealanders stranded in Argentina are preparing to board a Qantas rescue flight home. They'll leave Buenos Aires tonight after being stuck in South America due to the coronavirus outbreak.
What I'm very excited about is seeing the look on the people's faces as they approach the aeroplane, see that great big kangaroo on the tail, and hopefully make them feel like they're just about home.
They'll arrive in Melbourne tomorrow night. A driver's been charged with attempted murder after an extraordinary attack was caught on camera. That is a Sergeant Major from Thailand's traffic police clinging to the bonnet of a car. The driver's accused of ramming into him, then continuing to drive for 2 kilometres as the officer held on. He eventually leapt clear when the car slowed down. The officer initially tried to stop the driver after he nudged his police bike. A paraglider's had a rough landing, bouncing off a pine tree and crashing into someone's yard. Vance Sharp's GoPro was rolling as he fell at least 18 metres. Neighbours called paramedics for the badly hurt glider, who suffered head injuries, a broken arm and bruised lungs. A week on, he has no idea what happened. Britain's High Court has begun hearing Meghan Markle's lawsuit against a newspaper for breaching her privacy. The Duchess accused the tabloid of having an agenda against her after publishing a letter she wrote to her father.
When they emerged a married couple in 2018, they looked happy. But a private family drama was simmering away and has now boiled over into court proceedings. A pre-trial hearing as Meghan sues the Mail on Sunday for publishing a letter she sent to her father, Thomas. The paper is hoping to have elements of the royals' case struck out, including her claim Thomas was harassed, humiliated, manipulated and exploited by the tabloid. Its lawyers questioning how she could know if they haven't spoken in nearly 2 years. Meghan's team telling the court the estrangement between father and daughter had been stirred up by articles published last February. Her privacy had been breached and the paper had acted dishonestly. The hearing was held online, lawyers dialling in via video chat with the judge here in London. Also listening in, Harry and Meghan from their new home in LA. The judge is yet to decide what evidence will make it to the trial, which could still be months away. In London, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
Just ahead, a Geelong man in hospital under police guard after a wild night. A gun found inside a car and a police vehicle damaged. plus how a pilot made a Flight Path Anzac Day tribute to his grandfather, the Vietnam vet who's built his own Shrine of Remembrance, and the milestone that's left 99-year-old Captain Tom top of the pops.
You slept with my brother, you covered it up for 20 odd years, and my daughter might be his.
What if he's not my dad?
I'll always be your dad and you'll always be my daughter.
Who is that anyway?
I told you to stay away.
Home and Away, weeknights at 7.
Dad, we might need to pick up some more bread.
Dad,
I'll pick some up.
thanks.
Now more than ever, we know what families are going through, so you can pick up lots of specials every week. Like chicken schnitzel from the deli, now $1 each. That's better than half price. Find them all in our online catalogue. We want you to always get your Woolies worth.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready, now. Get ready. Ready? Set. Jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Get ready.
Home Timber and Hardware is serious about keeping our community safe. So whether you're staying at home or building someone else's, Home Timber and Hardware is here to help. So stay safe and ask us about our local delivery and pickup options today at Home Timber and Hardware.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale is on now. Save on a great range of quality furniture for a limited time. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale on now.
Save up to 15% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz comprehensive car insurance policy online.
Hey, good to go.
Thanks. Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
I started going out with a guy called Terry, and everyone took an instant dislike to him, including me. Seriously, it only took about 3 seconds to work out how deeply unpleasant, screwed up and angry he was. I went out with him for a year.
A Geelong man is tonight under police guard in hospital after a gun was found in a car in Docklands. 2 men were seen acting suspiciously in the area before speeding off in a nearby car and refusing to stop. The vehicle was driven erratically before it clipped a police car and crashed into a tree. The hunt is on for 2 thugs wanted over a stabbing in Warragul in West Gippsland. They knifed a man while trying to rob him just after midnight. The victim is in his 30s, was airlifted to hospital with upper body injuries. This Anzac Day has been one like no other for our veterans. For many, it's a time to reconnect with mates as they remember their courage and sacrifice. And today they found new ways to reflect.
We will remember them.
Memories so precious for Vietnam veteran John Shields laid out and laid bare on his front lawn.
Because I can't march past the cenotaph. This is my cenotaph. I want people to know the suffering.
He was conscripted as a stretcher bearer and to fight, but first he had to make peace with an enemy the world is grappling with today: isolation.
In my mind, I was on my own. I had no one.
96-year-old World War II pilot Charlie Sneesby spent Anzac Day at his nursing home in quarantine.
It's always been a family day, and I'm going to miss that terribly.
Instead, he shared a solemn minute of silence through glass.
Sorry I didn't get to hug you yesterday.
Couldn't do it.
I know.
Not allowed.
Reg Chard, 96, one of just 2 remaining soldiers from the Kokoda track.
It's a terrible thing. It never goes away. We're all different.
Each year he spends Anzac Day at home in quiet reflection. He has never marched.
I get upset, so I've never ever been to one since I came out of the army in 1945.
Their memories are treasures, and today John Shields was so eager for them to live on, he was giving them away to people who stopped to pay their respects. This is John, right before his tent was hit by shrapnel from an artillery shell in Vietnam.
Brave soldiers who have stared down death with some sober advice for battles ahead.
Don't panic.
Keep calm and carry on. Serena Andaloro, 7 News.
More than 200 homeless people now have a roof over their heads after a joint operation between police and the Salvation Army in Melbourne CBD.
And I've got some good news today, which is that I've got a beautiful hotel that's happy to have the dog as well. I know, so thank you for your patience.
It's hoped the collaboration will lead to long-term housing for people sleeping rough. A 99-year-old war veteran has become the oldest person to have a #1 single in the UK. Captain Tom first made headlines after raising millions of dollars for Britain's health service by walking laps of his backyard. He then teamed up with health workers to record a charity single.
And you'll never walk alone.
He's currently raised $54 million, a few days shy of his 100th birthday. Well done, Captain Tom. Sport now with Jackie Felgate. And Jack, speaking of captains, you've spoken with both from last year's grand final.
Yes, hello again, Mike. They've had their say on the shape of the game when footy returns. Tigers skipper Trent Cotchin tells us his family plans if footy moves into hubs. Cricket officials shine some light on a radical new rule change. Why one gold medal isn't enough for our Aussie world champ. And the Patriots go barking mad at the NFL draft.
Why don't you?
What?
Make a musical.
Hollywood legends Gene Kelly.
Which of my pictures have you seen?
And Debbie Reynolds.
She's irresistible. She told me so herself.
Are dancing up a storm in the must-see musical, Singing in the Rain, tonight on 7 Flicks.
To the team serving us at the checkouts and stacking the shelves, the butchers, the bakers, the Coles service team, the drivers, the farmers, the suppliers, the distribution teams, the store support teams. In fact, every one of our nearly 120,000 team members and thousands of suppliers working so hard to ensure our customers have what they need to provide for their families during these difficult times. To all of you, Coles would like to say thank you.
Telstra's smart modem is backed up by Australia's best 4G network. So if the connection to your house stops, your home Wi-Fi won't. Experience better Wi-Fi with Telstra.
Show Mum how much you cherish her with a wonderful gift from Maya. With Giorgio Armani Si Passion Intense, receive a free gift. And the Longcom Mother's Day set for $152. Go online now to order in time for Mother's Day.
Maya, my store.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale is on now. Save on a great range of quality furniture for a limited time. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale on now.
With AGL, get up to $100 to spend with prepaid MasterCard. That's $50 for electricity and $50 for gas. Just for signing up your home energy with AGL online. Only available at agl.com.au.
for any challenge. Battery power, made by Stihl. Only from your local Stihl dealer.
The COVID-19 crisis brings unprecedented internet traffic over the NBN network. To help support Australia during this time, we currently offer internet providers up to 40% increased network capacity. Our technicians remain on the ground wherever they're needed. And we're sharing updated tips to help you get more from your home setup. To find out more, visit nbn.com.au/response.
Tonight at 7 p.m, they lied about their age to serve in World War II. Tonight, the incredible story of Australia's boy soldiers. That's 7 p.m. on the latest from 7 News.
Welcome back. The AFL is doing everything possible to satisfy its players, with footy's restart all but certain to begin in quarantine hubs. Tom Brown broke the news on the key dates last night. And Tom, what's the latest from AFL HQ?
Jack, good evening. Players and officials could be isolated in these hubs for more than 4 weeks, possibly, according to a source, between 4 and 6 weeks. Now, players are up for it, but their welfare is clearly very important in terms of what to do in their spare time. Players are pushing for an option to bring families with them. Another separate big debate at the moment is player list sizes. If lists gets cut to 35 to save money, up to 100 AFL players will be delisted. Now, I think this will happen in 2 stages over the next couple of years, but players, I can tell you tonight, will be surveyed on the contentious issue this week. Trent Cotchin's wife, Brooke, does more than her fair share.
I'm lucky I've got a very motivated wife, so she typically gets me out of bed in the morning and makes sure that I'm doing what I need to do to keep fit and healthy.
But juggling 2 young daughters and a newborn, being completely cut off in a hub would present potential problems.
Clearly, my priority through this time is my family and their health, and you know, with homeschooling and 2 other kids, it can be challenging at different times for 2 parents, let alone one on their own.
Giant star Phil Davis doesn't have kids, but thinks the AFL should look at hub access for families.
I think there will be some level of flexibility around if families will be there, because for some people, it's almost too much to leave behind.
The league will announce a training date around May 11, and while everyone's keen to start games, the training period before footy restarts will be a careful balance.
2 to 3 weeks of intense training, I feel as though I'm safe to go and play. I think that's the thing. We want to be safe, but also be able to put a good product out there.
And Kevin Sheedy's an ideas man. He practically invented Anzac Day footy as we know it. She's supportive of private investment in his old side, the Giants.
And if it means that other people and monies from overseas might come into our game, what way, I'd be open to that.
Speaking from his garden, the coaching legend thinks that's where costs should be trimmed.
I think we have too many coaches in the coaching group, so I'd definitely trim down the football department. The classic day was the photo in the box last year with everybody else, but the head coach was in the box.
Tom Brown, 7 News.
Cricket is set for a radical rule change to adapt to a world with coronavirus. The old method of shining the ball with a spit and polish clearly doesn't meet new health standards, but the bowlers are worried.
Maintain the ball at all for 80 overs, it become quite easily to bat.
The International Cricket Council has listened. They're set to legalise the use of artificial substances for shining the ball. Gay Waterhouse has continued her winning ways in the St Ledger at Flemington, an event traditionally known as a race for 3-year-old stayers. Waterhouse won her 5th crown in 8 years, but only just.
Sacramento thrusting at it. Wahine Toa, Sacramento, and going with it in the middle was St Eustace. My goodness me. So tight, Sacramento's going to get up by a wart.
Melbourne Cup winner Vow and Declare failed to place in the William Newton handicap over 2,600 metres. Australia's world champion javelin thrower Kelsey Lee Barber wants to dominate heading into the Olympics next year. The 28-year-old is setting her sights high with her husband and coach along for the ride.
When you're a world champion and star pupil at the Australian Institute of Sport, there are added perks. Under strict conditions, Kelsey Lee and Mike Barber get 2 days a week at the AIS track, rocked by the Olympic postponement at first.
Great physical shape. I know I'm throwing far and I want to be touring the world as a world champion.
The goal quickly changed.
Cool, let's try and make myself a 70-metre thrower.
The world record's 72.28.
That rhythm's been looking good. Connections there.
it wasn't supposed to go like this.
One of my mentors said it way at the very start, you know, make sure you don't fall in love with her. Good advice, I just didn't take it.
A good move. In 6 years, they've shared an Olympics, Commonwealth silver, a wedding and Australia's 9th track and field world title.
It works really well, and I think the thing I always come back to is I'm so thankful that I get to share this experience with Mike.
Now more than ever, with the AIS Mental Health Referral Network fortuitously set up 2 years ago, athletes and coaches are navigating this crisis and setting sights even higher.
Let's try and dominate the circuit, and let's go into the Olympics making sure that we can walk in and go, right, we're here to win a gold medal.
Good day at the office, guys.
Matt Carmichael, 7 News.
And some fans might still be barking mad after Tom Brady left the New England Patriots. None more so than legendary coach Bill Belichick, who left his dog to make the picks in the NFL draft this morning.
The New England Patriots select Kyle Duggar, defensive back.
It seems virtual drafting can be a rough business, but his pooch did earn a treat after the pick. Meanwhile, former St Kilda forward Aaron Sipos is hoping he gets his chance on the final day of the draft tomorrow morning. And Mike, don't forget another classic from the 7 Footy Vault tonight from 7:30 over on 7 Mate.
In the true Anzac tradition, I have a beer or two in the fridge ready for that. Thanks, Jack.
Sounds great.
A Melbourne pilot has paid tribute to the Anzacs in a dawn flight with a difference. Michael Smith spent 4 hours in the sky mapping an incredible flight path in the shape of the rising sun badge.
Anzac Day means a lot to Michael Smith.
It's something that we must always remember.
The part-time pilot paid his respects at dawn with a 4-hour flight path mapping out the rising sun symbol.
I had my Anzac cookies packed for sustenance. I used a compass and a stopwatch. I wanted to navigate the way they did in the 1940s.
The emblem is worn on the brim of every soldier's slouch hat, including Mr Smith's grandfather, Flight Lieutenant Russell Smith, who flew in World War II.
The second half of the flight was very turbulent, and as I was thinking, oh wow, this is really tough, I wonder if I should keep going, I thought, man up, this is nothing compared to what people in World War II were putting up with.
Like so many Australians, Mr Smith would usually attend dawn service. This year, isolation forced him into the skies. Mr Smith has owned the custom-made twin-engine aircraft for just 6 months. He admits it's an adventure plane, and he only takes it out on special occasions such as Anzac Day.
She can stay airborne for up to 15 hours, and I've flown it out from London last year. I've been on great adventures and many more to come.
Tom Chadwick, 7 News.
Melina is next with the forecast, and Mel, there's rain on the way. I can't see any above us right now. When will it arrive?
Mike, it is coming. A rain band should reach the city after midnight. I'll have the details after the break.
Excited? Are you excited? Oh, see, stop breathing for a second.
All his life, he's had a dream.
Find a wife, forget the life.
Find the wife, get the life.
Get a house fit for a king, and he'll get his queen.
This is amazing.
This is it. The whole house reveal.
You hit the bloody jackpot. Congratulations, mate.
It'll be unpredictable.
Ooh, what is this?
You just never know with them. They might walk in and be like, yeah, it's all right. Or Leif might be like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
It'll make history.
Oh no.
As the best transformation ever.
Screams VIP.
For distinguished gentlemen like us.
But there's only one opinion that matters.
Are you talking to me? There's nobody else around. You must be talking to me.
What will Mum think?
I'm shaking. I'm really shaking. I'm so sorry for you.
Don't miss the incredible whole house reveal on House Rules on 7. The whole house reveal, Sunday at 7 on 7.
Mitre 10 is serious about keeping our community safe. So whether you're staying at home or building someone else's, Mitre 10 is here to help. So stay safe and ask us about our local delivery and pickup options today. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10.
Get AHM hospital cover from only $15.75 a week. Yay. It's that easy, so you can get back to doing whatever it is you like to do. Even that. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
During the Nick Scali Autumn Sale, the 100% leather Ruler 3-seater with chaise is now $29.90. Save $2,000. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale on now. Hurry.
The BHP Vital Resources Fund is supporting community organisations providing essential community services during the coronavirus challenge. For more information, visit bhp.com/vitalresources.
Lunch money? Hey Sarah, I love what you're doing with your hair. She got highlights.
Being stuck at home doesn't have to mean being stuck for things to do. Because if you take a look around, there's inspiration everywhere. Ryobi One Plus U equals endless possibilities. Available at bunnings.com.au.
At Chemist Warehouse, your health is our priority, and the safety and well-being of the community is our primary focus. That's why we offer same-day, contact-free home delivery for all prescriptions and essential healthcare. If you need your script filled, simply phone your local store to book your contact-free same-day home delivery. To find your local store, call 1300 734 876. Chemist Warehouse, always here for you.
The silver lining to COVID chaos. We reveal surprising ways it's making our world better. From clear air to lower crime, the new push bike boom, and now the home cook revolution.
Welcome to Kitchen Quarantine.
What's next? Plus, cruises post-corona, the major overhaul to make it virus safe for the future. And as the new day breaks, the breaking news.
New developments on the coronavirus.
The critical announcements are all on Sunrise.
Next on the latest, New York paramedics take us behind the front lines of their fight to save lives in the epicentre of the pandemic. A must-see on the latest from 7 News.
This weather report brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Contact-free home delivery now available. Shop online or in-store today.
Hello again. Anzac Day started mild and sunny, but clouds moved in this afternoon and we can expect rain later tonight. The city dipped to 10 degrees overnight before a lovely top of 21.7. Looking outside now in the city, it's currently 19 degrees out there. Rain is expected to arrive after midnight. A number of suburbs dipped to single digits early this morning. It was just 6 at Yarra Glen, 5 degrees at Cranbourne, but sunshine and northerly winds helped push most areas into the 20s. It was 22 at Geelong, 21 at Essendon. There was extensive fog across the northeast this morning. It was partly cloudy throughout the day. Temperatures were pretty close to the April average and it has been dry, but if we take a look at the radar, you can see that there is patchy rain over the west this evening. That rain band will extend across the state to central areas throughout tonight. Taking a look at the satellite, there's a cold front that will reach southwest of Victoria early on Sunday morning before crossing the state by the early afternoon. A high pressure system will then move across the Bight later on Sunday and cross northern Victoria during Monday. So rain will move in tonight. It will contract to the east tomorrow morning and should clear the state by the afternoon. Then we have a break from the wet weather with mild days on both Monday and Tuesday, but the temperatures will drop dramatically towards the end of the week, and it won't just be cold, but it will be wet as well. Rain is forecast to move across the state. We could see heavy falls in some parts, and that wintry weather could continue for a few days through to next weekend. Around the nation for tomorrow, mostly sunny and 28 in Brisbane, partly cloudy, 27 in Sydney. Early rain in the morning in Adelaide, 20 degrees there, and partly cloudy, 25 in Perth. But in Victoria, we will see that rain contracting to the east during tomorrow morning and clearing us during the afternoon. Some isolated showers could hang around, mainly across the south and the east. It will be cool to mild. We'll have moderate northwesterly winds. They will be strong about the alpine peaks, shifting west to southwesterly during the day. So there is a severe weather warning in place just for the alpine areas for damaging winds on Sunday morning. Around the suburbs for tomorrow. It is likely we'll see rain throughout the morning, but it should ease in the afternoon. It'll be partly cloudy, 18 in Geelong, 17 in Frankston, just 12 degrees at Mount Dandenong. Up to 20 millimetres could fall in the city. From a low of 15, we should reach 18 degrees, but it is staying mild. Then we have this dry and mild break, partly cloudy, 18 on Monday, 20 and sunny on Tuesday. Afternoon showers, 19 on Wednesday, and it's a cold and wet end to the week. The temperature drops to 13 with showers on Thursday and Friday and showers with a top of 14 on Saturday. Mike.
Thanks, Mel. And that's 7 News from the Shrine on this very different Anzac Day. We'll have updates later, but for now, from the 7 News team, have a great night.
We couldn't commemorate them as we usually do, but remember